Hi guys, Ms. Berg again. We're going to be going over now 7-2. So this is just like uh, 7-1. The only difference is it tells us that we're going to be using like a picture model. If you want to use a picture model, you can. Again, I'm probably not going to do much with picture models. I'm going to mainly just use the multiplication methods. So again, there's the cross cancel method to do that, or just the regular go across and multiply. Again, just as a reminder, when it comes to multiplication of fractions, you do not need to find a common denominator. So it is much easier than adding and subtracting fractions. So I am going to turn this around and start this lesson. All right, so this one says Martin is planting a vegetable garden. Each row is 2 meters long. He wants to plant carrots along 3/4 of each row. How many meters of each row will he plant the carrots? So basically, this is what is being said here. We are going to do 3/4 of 2. So, in other words, we'll show you more on like I guess I can kind of show it to you now. Guys, what this is showing is if it were in fourths, remember this is how many, and this is how many are going to be shaded. So if there were 3/4 like this, but it's saying it's not just 3/4, it is, you're going to times it by 2. You're going to do it 2 times. So this is basically what it's saying. So you're not just doing 3/4 one time, you're doing 3/4 2 different times. So in order to find the answer to this, my advice to you is that you could go ahead and like take a portion and move it on over. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this portion and move it over here so that it's a whole. So now this is now one whole. And then this is just a half. So my answer would be 1.5. One whole and a half. But I really like the multiplication methods to doing this. So this is 3/4 of 2 wholes. Remember, you can write 2 over 1 is still saying 2. It's just in both in fraction formats. So here's the thing. Same thing. You can still cross cancel. Now, don't get confused by this. Can 2 still go into 4? The answer should be yes, because if you're doing 4 over 2, how many 2's go into 4? It is still 2. However, the only thing is you just got to watch where that 4 is. So that 4 is going to be the 2. So in this case, this is the 4. So remember, it needs to become a 2. And then this one is just going to become a 1. So now if you do this, that would be 3 times 1, which is 3, over, now this is 2 times 1, which is 2. So we can't have this. So we got to go ahead and divide that out. 2 can go into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract, that would be 1 remaining. So our mixed number to this is 1 whole. So that would be 1 whole. And then 1 over 2. 1 over 2. So it's still giving us our 1/2. 1.5. Now here, if you just multiply it across, same thing. This one would be 6 over 4. And then you can't have that, so you got to divide it out. How many 4's go into 6? That would be 1. When you subtract, that would be 2. So it would be 1 whole and then 2/4, which is still 1.5, because 2 out of 4 is still your a half. It's just another way to say it. So you could still do either one of these two ways. It's still going to give you your same answer. But I will let that be your option on which way you would like to do it. Me personally, I would probably using the cross canceling method, but that is totally up to you. All right, so the next page, I'm going to use this graph part right here so that if you do want to use the showing of the modeling, you may certainly do that. All right, so in the investigation activity, you can multiply a whole number by a fraction. You can also use a model to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, remember, again, we are multiplying by a proper fraction by 2. So remember, since this is a proper fraction, this proper fraction is always less than 1 whole. So if I multiply it by 2, it should come out to be, an answer should come out to be less than 2, because I multiplied by a fraction that is less than a whole. So in this case, if I did look at my answers, which is 1.5, 1.5 is less than 2. So that is also a good indication that I did it right. All right, so here it says Margot was helping clean up the class party. There were 3 boxes remaining with pizza in them. Each box had 3/8 of a pizza left. How much pizza was left in all? So remember, each box had 3/8 left, but there was 3 boxes. So it's 3/8, not just one time, not 2 times, but 3 different times. So that is what I'm going to be doing here. You could do the multiplication method, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I do want to show you this. So what it's saying is you're going to be showing 3 shaded out of 8. So I'm going to take a highlighter. You don't have to use a highlighter. You can just color it in yourself. I'm just doing it so that it's easier on your guys' eyes to see what I'm doing. So here is 3 out of 8 out of 1 box. Here is again another 3 slices out of 8 in another box. And then here is another 3 slices in the third box. So now they want to know how much is left altogether. Well, you can also think of it as like in pizza at home. If you have 3 boxes, usually your parents have to go, they usually don't just keep 3 boxes. What they do is they go and they take boxes and take the pizzas and put them each into one box and try to like put it all in one box so that you guys aren't going to take up a lot of space in the fridge. So in this case, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing to see how much is left total. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take like these 3 and I'm going to shade in over here because I'm going to just combine them all into one box. Okay, so here's 3 from this one. So I just combined it. Now I'm going to see how much I can combine into this other box. Hopefully I can combine everything else. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this one and move it in. And then I'm going to take this one and move that one in. But that makes up a whole pizza. So this is 1 whole pizza. And then if you look, what is left over here that was not able to go, it was 1 out of how much is in 1 whole pizza. It is 8 slices. So it'll be 1 1/8 is your answer. Now, that is one way you could do to show that. Again, it's just, if you use this method, that is fine. It's just going to take you a while to do this method. So that's why I really like the multiplication method, but I'm showing you why it comes out to be that way. Just like when you're combining pizzas, you're going to be pushing it all over into one. So I'm going to now use my multiplication methods to help me figure this out. So this one is in fraction form, but this one isn't. So in order to still say 3, but it be in fraction form, I'm going to put it over 1. And I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, this method, I'm going to see if anything can cross cancel. Can 1 go into 3 evenly? Yes, and that is going to be 3 times, so that does not change. Now, can going by 3s, will you ever get to 8? And this is a no. So actually, cross-canceling method does not work in this particular case because there's nothing to cross-cancel, and that is very possible that that could happen. So in this case, there is nothing to cross-cancel. So then all you do is you just simply go across if there's nothing to cross cancel. So 3 times 3 is 9 over 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, so I can't have that because that is an improper fraction. So I'm going to divide it out. How many 8s go into 9? That is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract it, that would be 1 remaining. So therefore, my mixed number here is 1 whole. And then my fraction is 1 over 8. 1 over 8. So this is my answer, which is what I got over here as well. So in this case, it is possible that the cross-canceling method may not work out. And that is okay. If it cannot cross-cancel, fine, just go across. Why did it not probably cross-cancel is probably because it was already in its lowest terms. So there was nothing that needed to be cross-canceled. So that is it. The other thing that you could have done is you could have also have kept it thinking of it about it in addition. You know, when you are adding versus when you are multiplying. Remember, if it's like 3 times 2, that means you're doing like 2 groups of 3. So 3, not just once, but 3 2 times. So that would be 3 plus 3, which is 6. So that is why you get 6. The other thing that you can do is still with fractions as well. It's 3/8, not just one time, but 3 times, but then you would have to add them. So here, if you did 3 plus 3 plus 3, that is 9/8, which we already know what that answer comes out to be. It comes out to be 1 1/8. So that is just another way to look at it as well. All right, so now we're going to come over here. I'm not a big fan of this model, so I'm not even going to look at that. I did not show you fraction strips, nor will I ever show you fraction strips. So I'm just going to do the multiplication of this. So here, and I'm going to show you both ways of multiplication. All right, so this is in fraction form, but this one is not. So how to make it into fraction form, just putting a 1 under it. And I'm going to do it for both because one way I'm just going to go right across. So this one, I'm just going to go straight across. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. And this one would be 6 times 1, which is 6. Remember, you do not need to find a common denominator in multiplication of fractions. So if you divide this out, can 6 go into 1? No. But can 6 go into 15? Yes, 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. And then if you subtract, that would be 3. So my mixed number to this answer would be 2 wholes. And then 3/6 would be my fraction. So that would be 2 and 3/6. Yes, it can be reduced down to 2.5 as well. But I told you, don't worry about reducing it. This is plenty good for me. But here, let's try and reduce it and see what happens. See if we can cross cancel. So can a 1 go into 5? Yes, it can. Now this one, now remember, it's just the bigger numbers on top, but that's still fine. Just make sure it's following the bigger number. Can 3 go into 6 evenly? Yes, it can. So 6 divided by 3. 3 can go into 6 2 times. So remember, it can go in evenly, but that 2 needs to follow the 6. and the 1 now this 3 now becomes a 1. So in this case, it's just flip-flopped. This comes in twice because 3 goes in here twice, and this becomes a 1. So now I'll just go across. 5 times 1 is 5 over 2 times 1 is 2, which again is improper. We cannot have that. So I'm going to divide that up here. 2 can go into 5 one time, 2 times, sorry. 2 can go into 5 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 remaining. So my mixed number for this is 2 wholes, and then the fraction part is 1 over 2. 1 over 2. So that is saying 2.5. So your answer could have been 2 3/6 or 2.5. Same thing. All right, let's go ahead and keep on going. Again, it is up to you if you just want to go simply across. Again, I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you I'm just going to do the cross canceling. It seems to be so much easier. But in this particular case, it does have a nice thing for us. Now, if I wanted to do this, all I would have simply have done is try to combine so that it's all one whole. So I'm just going to take one of these and move it over here. So now this is one whole. And then what is left is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of how much is in one pizza? That would be 6. So this is an answer if I did 5, 6, not just once, but 2 times. So it would have been 1 4, 6, I could have said. But I personally like the multiplication way. So again, I'm taking 5/6 of 2, so it better come out to be smaller than 2 because I'm multiplying by a fraction that is smaller than one whole. So it better come out to be smaller than 2, which it did. So now I'm going to make this in fraction form by putting a 1 over it, 1 under it, sorry. Now I can look to see if anything can cross cancel. Oh, a 2 can go into 6 evenly. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and then this just becomes a 1. So I just cross canceled there. That's just a quick way. So 5 times 1 now is 5 over 1 times 3, which is 3. And this is improper, so I'm going to divide out. How many 3's go into 5? It is 1. 1 times 3 is 3, with 2 remaining. So the answer is 1 2/3. Which is also, if you multiply both the top and the bottom by 2. Same thing as saying 1 and 2 times 2 is 4, and then 3 times 2 is 6. So they are actually the exact same thing. They're both equal to 1 2/3, just 2 different ways of saying that. All right, so let's keep on going. Again, up to you whether you want to just multiply across or not. So this is in a fraction. This one is not. So you can put a 1 under it to make it into a fraction. 1 can go into 5 times, so that does not change this way. But can 3 go into 12 evenly? It sure can. 3 goes into 12 4 times. And if you want to see that, 12 divided by 3, 3 goes into 12 4 times. So that would become 4 over 1. So the 12 becomes a 4 now. The 3 becomes a 1. All right, so now we can go ahead and multiply. 5 times 1 is 5 over 4 times 1, which is 4. All right, so now we can divide this out. How many 4's go into 5? That would be 1. 1 times 4 is 4. When you subtract, that would be 1. So therefore, my mixed number would be 1 whole, and then 1 over 4. So 1 1/4. All right, next. Again, this is a fraction. This one is not, so you put it over 1. Now you can see if anything can cross cancel here. 1 can go into 1 time, so it's not going to cancel anything out there. But can 3 go into 6 evenly? It sure can. 3 goes into, 3 can go into 9 evenly. Yes, it can. So if you looked at it as a division problem, how many 3s go into 9? It is 3. So therefore, this becomes a 3 now, and this becomes a 1. So if you go across, 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. So your answer is 3 wholes. All right, this one, 7/8 times 4. Now keep in mind, 1/3, since I multiplied 1/3 by 9, my answer should come out to be smaller than 9 because I just multiplied by a fraction that is lower than 1 whole. So therefore, 3 is smaller than 9, so I am right. Just like here, I'm going to be multiplying 7/8 by 4. 4, if I'm multiplying 7/8, 7/8 is a proper fraction. So if I multiply a proper fraction, that means I'm multiplying something by it being less than 1 whole. So then my answer should be less than 4 if I did it properly. So I'm going to put it over 1, and I'm going to see if any cross canceling. 4 can go into 8. How many times? That would be 2. So then this one would be once. So then go ahead and 1 can go into 7 times. So that does not change anything. So go across. So it'll be 7 times 1 is 7 over 2 times 1 is 2 now. So this is improper. So I'm going to divide it out. How many 2's go into 7? That would be 3. 3 times 2 is 6 with 1 remaining. So my answer would be 3 wholes. And then my fractional part is 1 out of 2. So it'll be 3.5, which is smaller than my 4 wholes. Okay. Then here, this one says Eliza brought 3 pans of homemade fruit bars to school. Her classmates ate 7/12 of each pan. Eliza gave 1 whole pan of the leftover fruit bars to the school secretaries and took the rest home. Explain how to find how much of a pan of fruit bars Eliza took home. All right, so first of all, it said Eliza bought 3 pans of fruit bars to school. Her classmates ate 3/12 of each pan. So of each pan, so keep that in mind. It wasn't just 1 pan's worth, it was 3 pans worth. So she did 7/12, not just once, not 2 pans, but 3 pans worth. So you're going to have to times that by 3. Or you could do 7/12 plus 7/12 plus 7/12. Either way. So if you go ahead and figure out what this was, 1 can go into 7 times, so that does not cross cancel there, but can 3 go into 12 evenly? Yes. 3 can go into 12 4 times. So remember that 12 is now going to be a 4, and this is going to become a 1. Okay, now we can go ahead and multiply across. 7 times 1 is 7, and then 4 times 1 is 4. So this is improper. So how many 4's go into 7? 4 can go into 7 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4 with 3 remaining. So therefore my mixed number here would be 1 and 3/4. All right, so this is 1 and 3/4 is what is left. So this is what the kids have ate. there's still this much left over. But then it said she gave a whole pan away to the school secretaries. Okay, so this is what was left. And then she gave away a whole pan. So it was just one whole. So if she has 3/4, so 3 slices minus nothing, 3 minus 0 is still 3/4 left. And then 1 minus 1 is now 0. So therefore, she took home 3/4. So she took home 3/4 of the bars. All right, I want you to try this one on your own. You can try and model it, and then go ahead and fill out your answer. So go ahead and pause this and try this one on your own. All right, so if you did it properly, it says each box has 5/8 of the tiles remaining, but there were actually 4 boxes of tiles. So this would be 5/8 and 5/8 and 5/8 and 5/8. So it's 5/8 times 4 different boxes. So if you did it over 1, you could have just went straight across and it would have been 28. You could have also have done the cross canceling method as well, and it would have been 4 can go into 8 twice, so then it would have been 5/2. So either way, if you did the 28ths, it would have came out to be 2 and 4/8. But you could have also have done this. 2 can go into 5 2 times. That would be 4.5. So this one would have been 2 and 1/2 as well. So either one of these 2 ways would have been correct. Okay, so next, I am not going to be doing this page at all. I'm not a fan of the way that they're trying to show you. And so we won't be doing this page at all. But I am going to now go to your homework. So if you like this model, you can definitely just show it. So it's saying 3 out of 4 slices, not just one time, but you're going to actually do it in 3 different times. So this is what it's showing. And now they want you to like combine to see how many full pieces that is. So I'm going to move this one over here. And I am going to move this one right here. So actually it's showing that my answer would have been 2 wholes, and then 1 is left out of 4. So the answer to this one would have been 2 and 1/4. Now, again, I'm just going to tell you my thing that I would have done is I would have just have multiplied these to find the answer. You can choose whether you want to make models or whether you just want to just multiply across. Me personally, I would just multiply across, but that's totally up to you. So in this case, this is in fraction form. This one is not. So I'm going to put a 1 under it. Now you can go ahead and cross cancel and see if anything cross cancels here. Can 1 go into 3 evenly? Yes, that would still be 3. So nothing is changing. Can 3 go into 4 evenly? That would be a no. So in this case, there is actually no cross canceling that can happen. So if there is no cross canceling that can happen, the only thing you can do is just go simply across. So 3 times 3 is 9 over 1 times 4 is 4. Now we cannot have that because it is an improper fraction. How many 4s go into 9? That would be 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, that would be 1. So my answer would be 1 and 1/4. Oh, sorry, 2 wholes and 1/4. So your answer, you're still getting the exact same answer that you did here. So I am going to do them with you here. Same thing. 2/5 times 5 over 1. I mean, you guys can choose to do whatever way you would like. Again, I'm going to show you both ways, both methods. One would just simply going across and the other one of cross canceling, but just pick one way. So if you were just going to go across, this one would have been 10 over 5. And that's actually an easy one. How many 5s go into 10? That would be 2. So your answer would have been 2. Now, if you cross canceled, 1 can go into 2 times, so that does not change anything. However, can 5 go into 5 evenly? 5 divided by 5. That 5 goes into 5 one time. So therefore, if I made it into a fraction, they would both turn to 1s. They cancel each other out. So now if I just go across, 2 times 1 is 2 over 1 times 1 is 1, which is still your 2 wholes. So your answer is just going to be 2. Whatever method you would like is just fine with me. All right, on this next one, 7 times 2/3. Again, this one is not in fraction form, so just put a 1 under it. 1 can go into 2 times, so there's no cross canceling that happens there. Can 3 go into 7 evenly? And that is a no. So the only thing that you can do here is just go across. That is, there is no cross canceling that can happen here. 7 times 2 is 14 over 1 times 3 is 3. So this is improper, which you cannot have. So I'm going to have to divide it out. 3 cannot go into 1, but 3 can go into 14 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12 with 2 remaining. So my mixed number here would be 4 wholes and 2 over 3, 2/3. So that would be my answer to that. All right, you are going to have 5 for homework and 7 and 8. And you will also have 9 as well for homework on this page. And I'm going to do 6 and 10 with you. So 6 times 5 over 6. Again, you can see if there's anything that cross cancels. 1 can go into 5 times, but that does not change anything. That would still remain the same numbers. 6 can go into 7, and it cannot go in there evenly. So therefore, there is no cross canceling that can happen. So you just multiply across. 7 times 5 is 35. And then 6 times 1 is 6. So you can't have that as an answer. You need to divide it out. Can 6 go into 3? No, but can it go into 35? Yes, that would be 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract, that would be 5 remaining. So therefore, my answer would be 5 wholes and then 5 over 6. 5 over 6. All right, and this one. Lucas lives 5/8 of a mile from school. Kenny lives twice as far as Lucas from school. How many miles does Kenny live from school? So remember, Lucas lives 5/8 away from school, but Kenny lives twice as far. What that means is it is saying twice, so that means 2 times as far. So you would be multiplying here. So then you can see if anything cross cancels, or you can just simply go across, however you want to do it. Just pick one way. So you could pick it this way or the other way. But either way, I can see that something does cross cancel here in this case. 2 can go into 8 evenly 4 times. So that becomes a 4, and this one cancels out to be a 1. Now I can just multiply across. 5 times 1 is 5 over 4. So this is improper. So 4 can go into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4 with 1 remaining. So my answer would be 1 whole. And then my fraction would be 1 over 4. So 1 1/4 miles. Okay. All right. Next. On the back, you're going to do them all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that is for homework. Okay. That is it for 7-2. I will see you guys for 7-3 next. All right. Bye, guys.